That's divisive. You're being divisive. What do you say to that? I'm Joshua Lisec. This is Daily Persuasion. I am the New York Times bestselling author and co-author, a ghostwriter of 97 nonfiction books, and a certified professional hypnotist. It's through my unique blend of experiences I curate current events to teach you how to influence better the VIPs of your life and career. Let's talk about this label that is slapped across every conservative, Republican, Trump supporter, Trump administration person, everyone who does not say what is said first on MSNBC. Anyone who does not repeat what such and such expert said on NPR. They do not call Republicans problematic simply for existing. This is the word that's going to be used upon you. You're being divisive. So divisive. That was divisive. Why do you gotta be so divisive? Divisive. So what does this literally mean? Now, I recently attended a training with Dr. Richard Bandler. We might call him the father of modern hypnosis. He's the co-creator of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, or NLP, which has been popularized by such characters as Tony Robbins. Dr. Bandler is pretty old now. I had a chance to sit with him, chat a few minutes, and then attend a workshop and training, and I learned some interesting things about him personally. And about hypnosis as a thing. He hypothesized, and the hypothesis seems to be correct, that there's what's called a surface structure and a deep structure. The surface structure is the words that are used, the brain linguistic words, programming to think a certain way. A surface structure is the words that are used that there might be some information missing from what's called the deep structure. And divisive is a word that is surface structure. Because what's missing? Well, divisive, it means it is a thing that divides. Is it not? If something is divisive, it is dividing by its nature. I think of a vegetable chopper. Its function is divisive, is it not? We put a little tomato in there, like a nice Roma tomato, and you slap chop it down. It is divisive. It separates the thing. So it is divisive for what? In what way? So this is the question that we can interrogate the surface structure. And this is the best way to respond to divisive. Is it actually have a little bit of fun with the word. Liberals tend to be word thinkers, meaning they think in words rather than in, let's say, in realities, because they often say things like, in police brutality. Well, what do you mean by that? And it's just like words that they've heard, so that they're repeating and they have moral authority behind those words. But if you ask them, okay, so you would rather have there be no police in your community. Is that right? Well, no. Oh. So what do you mean by police brutality? Well, they should just be nice. So if someone's charging them with a knife, they should just be nice to the person. They should not end the threat. Well, they should use rubber bullets. Well, they should just shoot them in the knee. Well, they should just use a taser. Well, they should just, and then they start glitching, right? Like an NPC. If you've ever played a video game where there's NPCs who aren't perfectly programmed. Well, we're going to do a little bit of NLP to NPCs, okay? And when you interact with someone who calls you divisive or labels you as, oh, that's divisive. Why do you got to be so divisive? You get literal. Say, oh, divisive. Oh, that's interesting. It's fun to use the word interesting. Divisive. Oh, that's interesting. Divisive means something by its nature, it divides. Is that right? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're being divisive. You're dividing. You're not uniting. I believe in unity, love, peace, and joy, and blah blah blah. And they start glitching again, right? So then you bring it back to, okay, what am I dividing? So you can get hyper literal. So we want to interrogate using from the surface structure, go to the deep structure. What specifically are they saying you are dividing, or you are being divisive? So what is it that you're being divisive about, or dividing by your very nature? Because notice they're not going to say that you're wrong. That's not true. That's wrong. That's mean. That's hurtful. They might say those latter two, but they'll say it's divisive. Now this is a negative word that was first popularized by opposition media, and they like to run through different words that they will use over and over and over to sort of, because they say if you repeat a lie long enough, everyone believes it, right? So must-coo is another one of those key words. That's must-coo, 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 being divisive, must-coo, being divisive, 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 must-coo, and they start twitching again, right? This is what they do. Well, use a little NLP on the NPCs. Simply keep asking deeper to find specifically what they mean you are being divisive. For example, they might say something like, yeah, I believe we should enforce our immigration laws. It comes up during lunch. You're having a burger. Oh, that's so divisive. Why are you being so divisive over lunch? That's mean and hurtful and unfair, they might say, using liberal voice. Well, the best way to teach libbies is to make a lesson out of them for the benefit of all who are paying attention. And the more you can interrogate each word that they use, the more helpful you'll be to all observers. You may not persuade them. They may be unpersuadable, but you may certainly be able to persuade those who are listening. So coming back to the surface structure, deep structure, being divisive. Okay, so divisive, yeah, it means it's something by its nature, it divides, it separates. So what about saying, we should enforce our immigration laws? We have laws. It's not right to let laws be broken, especially if you're enforcing some laws, not the other. Well, that's not fair, is it? Using their words. Wouldn't you say that? Wouldn't you agree that's unfair? So it's in NLP, you often want to have them say yes to the thing, not no. Like, that's not fair, is it? No. So instead of saying that, you might want to get them to say yes. Like, wouldn't you agree that that's unfair, right? Right. Or instead of going up, that's unfair, right? You could ask the question like it's a command. That's unfair, right? That's unfair, right? Use little techniques like that. You sound certain with the question, and it makes it easier for them to agree with you because you commanded them to agree with you. Again, NLP for NPCs. This is what we do. And you'll get more words back, and you just simply ask, well, what specifically do you mean? They'll start throwing surface structures at you, surface structures. Well, it's problematic. What's the problem? Where's the problem? Can you tell me what the problem is? And then they just might going off. And then you might end up playing whack-a-hoax, where it's, well, he's just racist. Well, you're racist. You're nationalist. You're xenophobes. Start throwing out more labels. And then you can, again, the deep structure, take the words literal. NLP takes words literal. Neuro-Linguistic Programming. The words create our reality. The words program reality. It's a way of taking simulation hypothesis serious in another way. So what are you going to do about that? Ultimately, the conversation will probably fizzle out. They'll get distracted, tired, and bored. But the people who are listening will have learned a lot, and so will you. Because the person will sound, the liberal you're talking to, as you do a little NLP to that NPC, they're going to sound batshit stupid. And that's okay, because you may not be able to persuade one person, but you may be able to persuade the 10 people sitting around who realize, oh, shoot, I agree with this person. That person sounds like they're in a cult. Because guess what? They are.